How do we experience faith? Is everything interconnected?
I feel that if we, well, first and foremost, if you go back to Christmas, okay, let's discuss Christmas. Now, Christmas in North America, to me, is now commercialized beyond imagination. It is about things, money, etc., right? You know, we're rabid about it virtually. Poland, curiously, it is in a way still caught in some time warp. It's still in another era. So if you go to Poland during Christmas time, there seems to be an inordinate amount of emphasis placed on family. Now, the government itself has done something quite strange. They shut the country down for 4 days. Everything closes. All the stores close. Everything closes. You can barely get gas put into your car. So it creates an impression that this is something unique. And then, of course, the churches are full, there's a vibrancy in a church, because the cathedrals, at least the ones around Krakow, in fact, where John Paul II has a dedicated cathedral in the quarry where he worked during World War II. The church has actually bought the quarry and converted it into a park and an enormous cathedral dedicated to him. And it's a humbling place, Luke. There's a kind of a Byzantine architectural style, and whatever your religion, I think at that point you feel something unique. But what happened to me as a person relative to faith is all you have to do is get out in the wind, the rain, the typhoon, what have we, and you're exposed to something more than you. Call it Gaia, call it God, whatever it is. And then at that point you realize that you are a part of this, I believe. Whatever this is an individual decision, I feel, right? Many of us belong to organized religions, many of us don't, many of us have private thoughts, but we know there is something greater than me. Now, does the ego transcend this reality? That's a different question. But faith, yeah, I think that's how we discover faith. People that are faithless, Luke, I think have a difficult time in life, because one of the major aspects of being a human being is that you feel a connectivity with all life. I'm just reading a book on trees at the moment, curious, you know, and trees, according to this book, are very, very sensitive, sentient beings. Trees. No, I think it's a unique approach, that everything lives and is interconnected, right?
Why must I have faith in myself?
Well, no. Well, maybe they are both the same in a curious way, because you are, aren't you? You are the unknown. I mean, you're the only unknown that you really, really know. And this unknown woke up this morning and is going to proceed into the world, essentially. So I think you have to have faith in yourself, in the sense that you must realize that I'm alive. Like the old question, Luke, isn't it? Who woke up this morning? I did. Now, I'm not totally sure, Luke, if you woke up. I think you woke up. You look like you woke up. But I know I woke up. I know, exactly. And then I step into the unknown by getting in my car and coming here and having thoughts and ideas, right? Getting on, continuing with what I'm up to, my plan, my path, right? So, yeah, that would be my response. That you got to step out. You got to make that leap of faith. It's attributed to Søren Kierkegaard, but he probably didn't say it. But you got to make that leap of faith in you and in your life, your piece of life.
Why doesn't anger serve you well? Do you believe in the power of prayer?
All of those things are possible, Luke. Absolutely, because we do create our own luck. Of course, I believe that as well. But I'd like to believe, Luke, personally, that I'm a part of something bigger. And I mean, the deeply religious people, and I've met several in my lifetime, unique people. I mean, you can't be fooled by their connection through their sixth sense with something higher. So, yes, faith, and yes, prayer, but yes, something bigger, for sure. For sure. I don't believe that I mean, whatever happens to me is an aside when I die, you know. But what goes on, my DNA, my what have you, yes, I believe this. I do.
Why must I have faith in myself? Whose decisions are my decisions? Why is my life my fault?
No, the other people, no, absolutely. No, and I do have a temper as well, but I realize getting angry here is not going to help. And when I approached the woman, I was extremely nice. And she had just had a fellow ranting and raving. He didn't get on the plane. Nobody got on the plane but me. And so there we are. Is that also, people don't, these poor souls, all they deal with, like going to a doctor, look, really. The doctor only deals with pain. But if you go and speak to the doctor as a human being, my gosh, they respond well, don't they? I really had a doctor tell me the other day he wasn't feeling well. I thought it was remarkable that he's actually a human being. I'm here to see him over a crisis, and he's talking about his life, because we're all just people, right? I want to be respected. So I was telling you about that incident that I got angry at a woman over a book, and it's really unnecessary, and I fault myself for that. I always think the worst. So I was anticipating that I would probably get a flight I would eventually get to Poland. After Christmas maybe, but I would have been there. But I would have maybe celebrated Christmas alone in a hotel room in Amsterdam. Amsterdam's not a bad city, so it would have been a different situation. So I think when you travel, you have to accept that things just don't work out, period. And so, yeah, I accept those kinds of things. I accept with calmness. I think initially I can get quite angry, but I've learned over the years that this really doesn't serve you, because people are tired of anger. They see violence, they hear of violence on an ongoing basis. They don't want violence from private citizens, right? Yeah. Many years ago, look, I played the stock market I've alluded to before, and I took the stockbroker's advice, and it was a total failure, right? And I realized later I realized, of course, that was not the stockbroker's fault. It was my fault, because I accepted his advice. So it's very similar to our parents in a way. Our parents wanted us to have a certain career, and I don't want to do it, but I do it because I want to be respectful to my parents. But unfortunately, as soon as I accept my parents' decision, it's my decision. It's no longer my parents. I cannot blame my parents if it turns out to be something horrible for me, right? It's my fault. My life is my fault, 100%.